December 2nd, snowy meeting of the Ware Board of Selectmen. We started at 6 o'clock with the police chief, talking about some personnel things over at the police department. Brings us to pretty close to 6:45, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment? No? No? Okay. Chief, got anything? No? What department head committee items?
No. No
Okay.
questions for me. I got none for you.
Okay. Anything from any other one? Naomi?
Nothing.
Nothing from any of the other ones? Good, that's what I like to hear.
No budget presentations.
2020 budget presentations. Okay, good. I hope so, yeah. That's the plan.
You left 3 on the copier. I threw them on top of the pile. I thought of it all like
Thank you.
Thank you.
I vote to increase line 2 by double.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all.
be nice.
Line 2 is a selectman's salary.
Yeah, we make about $5 an hour. If we're lucky.
We get the 3%. We don't even get the 3%. We don't even get the 3% raise.
The finance committee's gonna cut that.
Yeah, down and back.
Good try.
Okay, so we're gonna do the small departments tonight. All right, so we already heard a little comment on line 2. Right.
Some said double, some said cut in half, you know.
So I'm assuming you guys are just gonna leave that one alone?
Yeah.
You assume right.
Yeah, you're assuming right, yeah.
Okay, for the town officers, we'd like to increase the office supply line by $200, just because if you look at 17's and 18's expenses, that's exactly what we spend every year, by year end, $1,900.
1,900,
Yep.
okay. Yep.
So that is the only increase in that department. The elections, we do have 4 elections in 2020, so the wages are going to be increased. The food, the printing, and the postage for the reason of the 4 elections. The tax collector department is going to be raised for the wages that we discussed during default, and then for the computer support, there's a 2.5% increase on that support line. Assessing, most of it, the increase in this department is because we are moving this position out of being split code enforcement and assessing. So when you get to code enforcement, you'll see a large decrease. That's because we're moving this employee completely to assessing. So most of that is wages and related benefits. And then for her software support, there's a 3% increase of $162. And she'd like to purchase a small, low-cost computer for the assessing office. So she'd like to increase her office equipment line by $75. Don't want to go too fast. Legal, there was a decrease because of the one-time expense for 2019 for the bond counsel fees. We did really good, I must say, with legal this year for the entire department.
I was gonna say.
Budgeted 68, and right now you're at 67,820.
Whoa.
Yeah,
We're really close.
first time, I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at 17's expenses, there's 106, 18's expenses of 111.
Yeah.
Legal is,
Almost on the mark.
yeah, you almost want to do a cheer.
Good job.
Yeah.
Finance Administration Department, the increase is wages for the BOS, and then a 5% increase for the software support. I didn't take the increase for the software support in 19. As you can see, it was budgeted for $72.90, but it came at $75 because they didn't get me their quote in time. So this year I increased it by 5%, hopefully to get us up to where we need to be.
Okay.
The town clerk's budget, mostly it's to do with wages And then postage, she'd like a $100 increase because a lot of her registrations are now online renewals. So it goes through the postage. Selectman's office, with the new hire of an admin assistant, we have zeroed out the transcriber wages line. This is a little different from the default that you saw back last month, because I did have those wages budgeted when I did the default budget, but now that we hired this person, she will be doing it, so I zeroed it out. I don't know the health insurance yet, so I calculated for 2 family plans. Website hosting, there is a 5% increase on the contract, and then I believe there's a $300 increase for the police sub-site
Right.
that we're gonna be taking on in 2020.
Because you're, so you have a one-time fee to create the site, and then it added additional to,
Yep.
because it's gonna be a sub-site, so we get a fee, and then you have the smaller fee for the sub-site,
Okay.
which is an annual hosting.
Gotcha.
But the original setup is the
That
3,000.
3,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I had that in my budget too.
right.
We took it out.
We took it out of yours.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Just
we
making
took-
sure we're not.
No, we
double
took it out. No, not
Thank
totally.
you.
You're welcome.
That's my job.
Cable committee, we did a few decreases, only because they have never spent the money that was appropriated to them. For the supplies and equipment, they do have a capital reserve fund to purchase equipment and supplies. I noticed this year there was a little expense. I think they bought some cables.
The
But that could have
microphones,
came
yeah.
out of the capital reserve fund, but it came out of their budget, but. Anyone have a comment on that? Okay. Trustees of the trust funds, we left that one alone. They'd like to do some training next year. Land use, just like assessing, you're gonna see a increase, mostly due to the wages, because we pulled this position out of sharing with the code enforcement officer. So most of it's due to the full-time employee. She does want to increase the training by $500 for training, obviously. And the dues for the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission, we did receive the invoice, so it's gonna be $61.35. So, put that up. Okay, move on to government buildings. Most of the increases and decreases is electricity and heat due to our usage for 2019 and for heat. It was what Naomi locked us in for. So going through that, it's just, we did ask for an increase for the electricity because the outside lights, if you noticed, they are working.
Yay.
Yes. So we do see an increase, so it's $445 a month for that, for the whole town office, sorry. And that's just the ups and downs all the way through line 211. For cemeteries, the lawn care, per the contract that the town approved, did have an increase of $1,000 for 2020. And then we decreased the maintenance line by $1,000 because there's numerous funding sources available for the cemetery. They always have a warrant article. There's Mildred Hall. There's perpetual care for the maintenance of the cemeteries. For the insurances, there was an increase and a decrease, and that's only because of the holiday credit that they give us. We received a letter in 2018 that said, you know, you're gonna receive a holiday credit. Do you wanna use it to offset next year's payment, or do you wanna take it as revenue for this year? In 2018, we said, let's offset 2019's budget. But in 2019, when we got the letter, we said, let's take the revenue in the year that we earned it. So that's why it's a little high, a little low. So we did get the numbers from Primex, and those are our true numbers in the proposed column that we're gonna have to pay for 2020. That's really our largest increase. For advertising, we did receive our due invoice from New Hampshire Municipal Association, so it will be $77.40 So we increased that budget by $71. Now, code enforcement, here we go. This has decreased due to us removing those 2 people and putting them into their own department. So if you look back at assessing and land use, those budgets increased by $62,387 combined. This one department decreased by $87,732. So we're still down by more than $25,000. And this is increasing his hours, actually, for 2020. Anything else in that department? Besides part-time employee. The fuel, which I'd like to do after we go through this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. Street lighting, decreased it by 192 based on the average of $434 a month. Health, there was an increase to the New Hampshire retirement system line because that person is a full-time employee to the town. So therefore, her wages that are associated with this position have to be eligible for New Hampshire retirement system as well. And then the rest, we reduced them just minimally based on not being used. Kept the lines open though.
Okay.
Welfare, just wages related. And the telephone, we had to double the telephone because we're using 2 lines for that department now. Parks and Rec. Okay. So Parks and Rec would like to raise their wages, their wage line to $25,000. As you can see, this year, they spent $24,310. So based on their proposed increase of $25,000, the taxes increased. I reduced the electricity only by $8 because they're averaging $201 a month. They would like the rubbish removal to be increased by $1,500 because they're consistently over budget. They actually requested that recreation activities be decreased by $2,000 because they haven't come close to spending it. And then for park maintenance, they want it increased by $3,000. And their reasoning is the park maintenance line was reduced to $3,000 last year. We seek to increase the line to $6,000. The fencing needs repair, the skate park needs repair, the fields need resurfacing, playground will need new mulch. Just one of these projects will expend the entire line. These projects do not need to be done annually, making expenditures out of that line vary. However, when they do need to be completed, the funds are not there. So they would like to see that increase to $6,000 in 2020. Patriotic purposes, there's no change there. And conservation, we reduced the lines again because they haven't been expensed. I did receive the dues invoice and it's going to be $425 for 2020. No change in the economic development. Debt services, there we go. Because of warrant Article 3 last year, we are adding $330,000 annually to that department. And then the capital outlay department, the ambulance lease is, the road grader lease has been satisfied. So we now own the road grader in its entirety. So even with the debt service of $330,000, we're only asking for $302,000 over last year.
Which isn't bad at all, I don't think. Adding $330,000 in debt services.
About a 2.5% increase, that isn't bad.
Yep. No. I do want to go back and visit a couple lines.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, no one's mentioned it before, actually Frank did out in the hallway, but I got rid of the asterisks in our budget. I don't know if anyone noticed that or not.
Yeah, I did. Those are
So I
the,
put the
Contracts.
contracts year end,
yeah,
all right, so we know when we need to go out,
yeah,
okay?
okay.
Just to let you guys know, in case you're wondering where the asterisks went.
Yeah, line 216, cemetery maintenance.
I got a question there too.
Yep,
I'd like to see that spent rather than reduced. I'd like to see the every penny of that spent,
Cemetery maintenance.
right, from the town's parcel. Not,
Is there a board that sits on that committee?
there is a cemetery.
Cemetery trustees.
No, 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 no.
Trust
She's
No, is there one of
asking
you that?
Oh, no,
that
I
we
don't
can-
believe so.
No, no,
No.
no.
Okay, so we'll just
No.
have to.
That's the Board of Trustees, no?
I mean, there was
Some-
1,300 spent in 2017. I know it was low in 18, but
But
I think if we were to, don't think it would take much of a push to spend
Get that
that.
up there?
To
Probably
spend
will.
that.
Probably tree removal will,
Right,
Yeah.
tree trimming,
painting the
Painting the
fence down
fences.
paint
there.
the
Fixing
fence,
them,
fence
fixing-
repair, yeah.
is fence repair considered the exterior?
Or
which
the
is-
inside. That's what we always argue over.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there's cypre and there's.
cypre
Yeah.
Cypress
inside and then.
inside.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
outside.
I still think,
It's outside, so
I still think if
fences.
there's a
Better
tree
leave it.
outside, it'd be,
Better leave it.
I think I'd leave it.
Especially when we had one fall down this year.
Yeah, I'd leave it at 1,500.
Yeah.
Myself.
The other thing too, Beth, is Mildred Hall doesn't normally take care of
Yeah, but
cemetery stuff.
There's gonna be requests coming your
Or
way.
either that, I'd leave it,
There's a
reduce it by
request, they're
500
gonna,
almost.
actually go and see you, or at least that's what I was told. That's why Mildred Hall is there.
Okay.
Bill Tiffany had talked to me about going to see you guys. Him and Connie has mentioned it too.
I was gonna say, if you reduced it, I would normally reduce it by 500 and leave it at 1,000.
You wanna leave it at 15?
I'd like to leave it at 15 and make, just make sure it gets spent, and let it be known that it can be spent.
Yeah,
Right, and then they won't have to
Yeah.
go other places for it.
Right,
yeah.
right. And it kind of goes along the same with what the Parks and Rec was saying, is they have projects, and now they have a new director, so,
Yeah,
so there's probably gonna be new ideas, and obviously, I'd rather spend all the maintenance lines in the budget than give any of it back, just because,
Right,
a
the
little
work
an ounce
needs
of
to be
ounce
done.
prevention,
Right.
So, if we don't spend any lines. And the other question I had was,
I think some of, just Ricky, some of Parks and Rec was held back to get you through the summer.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because you see the difference. We budgeted 22,227 and we spent 24.
right.
So until the summer's over, they can, but there's still fall months to do something.
Right.
Yep.
The other question I had was line 150, cable equipment. I'd like to bring that back up to at least $100, maybe even 150. I know they haven't spent a lot of it, but when
They
they,
also have the franchise fees.
I know. No, I get it.
Okay.
I get they get franchise fees, but I just I'd rather have that up and have them have a little bit of expenditure account to play with. And the other thing is too is with the repairs and the training line, I'm not saying bring that back up, but I know that hasn't been used in the last few years. But if we got somebody that wanted to use it, I'd like to use it.
it's an interesting line though. Repairs.
Yeah, and training. I don't know why.
That doesn't really make sense.
to me, maybe that was an all-inclusive line at one time type thing. I don't know.
Outside service maybe and.
Also
Yeah.
means that,
Then we had
train
it-
somebody new and then have the same person do the repairs.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I think that was all I had.
so for the cables,
They may-
repairs training,
They may use it because they
No, they're
lost,
looking at 150.
they lost them.
150 or
50
one
for the
or
equipment.
147, or we can put 147 back to where it was.
Well, yeah, because they
I mean, that's
lost,
the bottom line.
they lost a person this year too.
Yeah. So if I would like to be able to, I don't want to say attract, but if at least throw something out there that says, hey, if you want to go to the seminar about this, if you're going to really be energetic about it, here it is. Rather than we don't have the money to do it. So, I guess maybe we can leave 150 where it is and bring 147 back to where it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that much money. I
It's
mean,
not a whole lot of money,
It's
but
really
it's-
bare bones.
But it's a bare bones committee too, and
Right.
I think they do a fine job with what they're given and.
Not given much.
Yeah, and the committee that we have, I mean, it's, I'm getting comments the next day on YouTube on YouTube, so. No, it is, so it's, they
Lifeline.
do a really good job, and I think that, if any of them want to go, I completely support it, so. So, yeah, I guess I'll leave 150 alone and bring 147 back up, if the board's all right with that.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about that.
I have one, I have, the street lighting, which is, what, 5208.
What
Have
number
we
is that?
thought about putting LEDs in? Because it'd probably cut your electric bill in half, or less than half.
We only have
You
a
put-
couple streetlights.
I was gonna say, it would be
Yeah,
nice
but
to know where
don't we
they
have
are,
like
too.
the lighting over at the police department out there,
Well,
the
that's-
outside lights?
That's different.
That's under, I think they're under their
I think
power.
that's under their electricity.
Yeah,
That's under theirs?
Yes, it's not,
Yeah.
this
That's
is,
on the
this is,
street.
This
And
is
as-
just out here?
this is public
center?
services.
No,
Streetlights would be like actually on the roads, like.
Like right on the
there's
corner.
one
Right
right
on
on
the
the
corner.
street.
on River Road, is there one?
No, I think there's one on,
One
Riverdale.
on Quaker Street.
yeah, there's one
Yeah,
on
there's
Quaker
one in
by
Riverdale.
Anderson.
Yeah.
The one on Riverdale's gone.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
One on Concord Stage, I don't know if that's a city light or not.
That's a
That
state.
corner, a state.
That's a state light. No, that's a,
No, I don't know about
That's-
that one.
No.
that may be ours.
I'm just
Drop
think,
right corner.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, maybe have Carol Johnson look at them.
Yeah, but this is
If-
public
Yeah, but it's
service.
public service that
Oh,
Carol
they,
does.
they do it, he can't do
Yeah,
that,
and then-
okay.
They'll cost you,
And they're gonna charge you to turn around.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna charge you to come get it and put it up and.
Put it up.
Oh, yeah, and
I'm
by the
just
way, here's the bill
curious, 'cause
for
it's
it.
5,000 seems like a lot for electricity for 2 or 3 lights.
Find
They're
out
not
how
very
many lights.
efficient.
Yeah.
I know that, I remember that when the ones over at the complex are dying, we were replacing them with LEDs.
yeah, and,
Yeah, as they were
Carol
dying.
did that.
Yeah.
Carol's done the ones over at,
Yeah, as they were crapping out, we were
As they die.
replacing with LED.
and what about the ones here? We've got a couple outside of the, is that stuff all been
That's
changed?
just underneath that are on a
Right.
timer.
And they just turned on
And
not
then
too long
the
ago.
timer out in the back of the
Oh,
building,
back.
they're on a
Right?
timer.
Okay.
You said they weren't always on.
No.
No, now they're on all the time.
Okay.
Which one? That one on the corner is always on
Yeah,
at night.
Oh, at night, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carol's.
The one underneath the porch isn't though. We can't figure out where the timer is.
No, that one's over.
Speaking of lights being on, it's been brought up me a couple times that the South Station light stays on all the time.
all
too.
night long.
Yeah.
It's the on when I go
Inter-
through at
interior
5 in the
lights.
morning,
The
it's
mid- The
on.
middle light stays on all the time.
Yeah.
That used to be linked to the door closest to the road, but I know we had to put a door operator in there. I don't know, something shorted out. And
Shorted out.
module went, yeah, we're on all the time now, or what the deal is, so. But,
That could be something we do next year is map out where they are and.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that, maybe, all the light, make sure that we're not
they
spending
may,
more money than we
they may
have
not
to.
wanna change them either. You know?
Yeah, who knows?
They may tell us, go away.
Yeah, public service.
So
Change it
one
or
or
like
two
it.
lights.
Yeah.
Public service will charge you
Yeah.
for 'em,
Yeah,
big
they
money
will.
for them.
Any other questions? As of right now?
No, I didn't see anything else.
I didn't see anything big in
No,
there.
I
I
didn't
mean,
either.
This is
A
this is
lot.
pretty good, yeah. I still think line 2 though, we gotta work on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fix more on our line.
Oh, you have a finance committee member.
Yes. One comment?
Sure.
Anything but line 2?
Starting on line 2, we're gonna have to take you out.
Yeah.
Dennis
Again.
Aubin, we're Finance Committee. So line 2, I'd like to see, yeah, sorry.
Line 2 is a selectman salary again, for those who didn't hear us.
I was just curious about a couple things. If Beth if you could break down for us what the additional cost is for the 53rd week,
Oh, okay.
and see what that percentage is, because we're saying 2.48% increase. It may be less than that. It's just because of
With the 53rd
salary.
week.
Oh, I get you, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could get that,
A weekly payroll is usually around $60,000.
okay, so,
Yeah.
It's roughly 60,000.
Yeah, so up 60,000 roughly.
Per week.
all right,
Figure 60,
Yep.
yeah.
Per week.
okay.
So it may drop it down a few point, whatever.
Well, it'll
Be a
help
little
when
higher
we-
next week.
Right, no, I agree.
Trying to
I
explain.
no, I agree with that. That's a
Whatever,
that's a
not that-
very valid question, very valid.
2.48% is outrageous, so,
No.
I was trying to think what else. So has anybody been hired for the Parks and Rec for the?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, they have?
yes, we hired a director
Last week.
Monday.
Yep.
Oh,
Last
okay.
week, yep.
Who,
Yeah, Lisa Purington Grolian.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
good.
she actually has come in and, she's been pretty active with trying to figure out what she wants to do.
Okay,
Couple days, less than a week.
all right, and I thought there was one other question, but I can't remember what it was. Sorry. If I remember, I'll get back to you.
Thank you. Again, line 2 is off the table.
That one really threw me, I was.
She's got one more.
What?
The gas.
Anything else with the budget?
Anything to budget?
The gas.
Nope,
Fuel,
nothing on that?
Fuel.
Okay.
fuel,
Yes.
Yeah.
Do that.
gasohol
Gas,
and
oil.
bush water. Uh-oh, who slid off the road? Oh, yeah, don't worry about that.
Accident?
No,
Here. Does he need a copy?
Henniker for NEC for smoke in the building. Somebody was cooking. Somebody was attempting to cook.
All the vehicles? Yeah.
How much we're gonna spend on fuel next year?
We don't pay the John Stark fuel bill, do we?
No,
They
but we
pay us,
have
right?
to
They pay
purchase
us.
They
the
take,
fuel.
they buy from
Yeah,
us.
they reimburse.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So in Benji's budget, it has to be there, so then we can.
9,000
Yeah.
gallons, you guys getting segways.
Thinking horses.
I think we better buy
He
bicycles.
did that last week. He
Yeah.
told Benji you could have.
Yeah,
lots.
oxen.
Oxen.
Oxen, yeah.
Oxen.
Yeah.
Oxen for Benji, horses for the police
I
department.
think the police department ought to have bikes. They keep them in shape, too.
You know, side-by-sides get very good gas mileage.
We're not doing side-by-sides, not unless you want to add another wheel on the bike.
Snowmobile right now.
Good one.
Snowmobile.
Hey, horses are all-wheel drive, okay, and they get good ground clearance.
That's a good one.
Oh my God.
Y'all put it out there.
Okay, so what you guys are looking at is page one is obviously their monthly totals that they've used in diesel and unleaded, and what they paid per gallon. At the bottom of page two, I used estimated their gallons, and then price per gallon. And what I got for price per gallon was going to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, where they forecasted 2020's price per gallon. For regular gasoline, they're forecasting $2.62, and for diesel, they're forecasting $3.04. That includes taxes. So I called Dead River to ask what we, because we're exempt, what we pay in taxes or what we don't pay in taxes. And she told me that for gasoline, we save 40 cents a gallon for the taxes, and for diesel, it's 46 cents worth of taxes. So it comes down to $2.22 for gasoline and $2.58 for diesel.
You know, what are we currently set at? 258 and 222? Is that correct?
258 and 222.
$1.97 for gas.
No, it's $1.99 for
yeah.
unleaded and
Oh.
$2.36 for diesel.
Okay.
Now I see what the prices that you reflect on the unit price, that's because the price fluctuates when we buy it.
Yes.
But the average was 196 and
But the-
247.
the maximum that if we lock in is gonna be 222.
Oh, no, you're not
Well, we don't lock
locking
in.
You don't lock it in.
No,
we
they
don't
won't let you lock
It
in.
fluctuates.
No, you plan ahead, that's all it is.
You just plan ahead
Okay.
what you think it's gonna cost you, because it's more at one time than another. Depends on which boat it came in
Oh, I saw
on.
gas in Texas, it was $2.01 a gallon. One place was $1.98 a gallon for gas, I'm saying. I thought I was seeing
Yeah,
things.
that's nice. We're paying that and we're exempt. Dining hall?
What you gonna call it?
Smoke in the building,
That's where this-
somebody burnt their
somebody
toast.
burnt their toast.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. You'll get turned around before they make town line. It's usually what happens. Okay, what do you think,
So
board?
I don't know if you guys have a different price per gallon you'd like to use for next year? Or
Well,
maybe a
well,
different,
I
Looking
think,
at the research you've done, I'd say we'd stick with what you came up with for right now. 222 and 258.
58, yeah.
would you like to
Was that a
adjust
motion?
the,
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
sorry, was that all allowed?
well, now we're gonna move for discussion.
222
What did you
and
want,
what?
did you say you wanted to what?
No, that was fine.
You want to
222.
do crazy math formula that we did a
222
couple years
for
ago? Come on.
unleaded and
I followed that. For something I actually followed.
258 for
It took me a
diesel.
while, but I got that one too.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting.
All right. Any other discussion on it? Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It's 5 yes.
Okay. Now, do you want to look at the estimated gallons I have estimated for each department?
Sure.
Do you have a question with those, maybe? So for fire, I estimated 1,550 gallons. It might be too high. They did add a vehicle to their fleet that takes unleaded.
Tahoe is gas.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
That was a month ago. Month or so
But
ago.
you're
But
probably
one
gonna
should
sacrifice.
decrease a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta
Is he running
sacrifice.
The truck is diesel.
No.
No, the,
Gas.
the forestry's gas and so isn't the pickup. The utility's gas.
So now there's gonna be 3 vehicles. with
On gas.
But,
Yeah.
but one's not gonna be getting used as much to pick
And
up.
hopefully the new ambulance that comes through is gas too. I know it's a few years out, but,
I was gonna say, that's not gonna.
yeah, it's a few years
Try
out.
to get a
but-
gas one.
Well, we wouldn't have any emissions issues.
So again, for fire, I estimated about 1,550 gallons of unleaded, and I estimated about 3,500 of diesel. For police, they used 6,800 this year, but I estimated 9,000.
Wow.
Short staff.
Yeah, he's gonna have full roster this year.
Yeah.
People want to work.
Yeah. Out patrolling. They're gonna be patrolling.
Got to fight them off.
That's a good thing. Okay. Transfer station looks good. Building looks good. Highway, yeah, about right. John Stark, that's too much. Daily reimbursements.
Yep.
Any questions?
Nope.
I'd say plug the numbers,
Yeah.
Yep.
plug them into the budgets respectively.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Yes, maybe? Okay,
So
straightforward.
next week, you're gonna see the budget in its entirety.
Yay.
Yeah.
Some changes, because hires have been made,
Yeah.
fuel.
Yeah, so you'll know your answer on the family plan or not family plan on our
Yeah.
side.
Yep.
She's starting on Monday.
Okay.
The new hire for the DPW.
Any new hires?
Wages have changed, so, yeah. There's a little change from the department head's agreement.
Plus, we've, well, I put out the town report in the mailer that, I put out the town report in the mailer so that we can have an answer
Okay.
for Friday. So we should be able to award that and we'd have a real number.
Good.
The other IT one's gonna take me a little longer to put together,
Mhm.
so that Beth and I wrestled with it today, to do apples to apples, because it's really not an apples to apples market sometimes. You know, of what I want included, just so that we're not going back for, remember the old camera detail? Yeah, so we're not doing that. So that may not be quite there, but at the same time, we'll be close. Wednesday, I spoke to the chair of the finance committee today. We're gonna do just a general discussion, because most everybody's been, the guys that are doing the town side have been to almost all of them. If not, you watched it. I think you only missed one. And you know what I mean, I think the general consensus, I'm not sure what they're looking for, because a lot of it, like the fire department, I throw that one out there, because that one, their proposed is same as default, so there's not a lot of question. And the other thing is, some of the increases due to the voters voting it, the bond payment, the raises and things are included, which causes the increase, so you can't have a 2% decrease when you voted to increase something. So I think that's gonna be a general discussion, is what we're leaning towards. You're coming Wednesday night? Okay, both chiefs are coming Wednesday night. I didn't ask Benji, because I have no idea when he might
weather's gonna
get
be.
some shut-eye. But it's only for the discussion of the budget, though. The warrant articles will be completely separate, and we're gonna try to stay on that path. just kind of see what thoughts are from other members, because we've invited comments here, but that's not all of them, there's 13 of them, so.
Correct, yep.
We'll see what happens.
Works for me.
Okay.
So the only other thing I'm missing out of the budget is the prosecutor.
Is the what?
Prosecutor.
Prosecutor expires December 31st.
That's you.
That's you.
That's your
And
department.
he's confident, so, okay.
He is.
What was,
The prosecutor.
and,
We'll work on that one.
All right,
we're gonna re-up for,
all right, just give me an expiration
Uh,
date so I
you-
can plug that in then.
You have to give 60 days notice.
yep, okay, no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you, thank you.
All right, drive safely.
You
Yeah,
too.
you
Thank
too.
you. Safe drive home.
If I see you off the road, I'll stop.
Wave.
Wave and honk.
I'll give you a ride home.
All right, move on to approval of the minutes. All this excitement.
Are you guys done with the box?
Sure,
Is there signatures and everything?
sure.
All right, Beth can have that then.
You say so.
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, I didn't see anything wrong with the November 16th.
Yeah,
So one page.
Yeah, the one pager.
That sounded like a motion to approve.
second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
I did start on the October 28th one. I'm halfway through it.
All right.
Not that it's a big deal, but I did see that, I think Benji's name's spelled wrong.
Yeah. And there's an I, isn't it? No E?
No E, I think,
No E.
under guest,
Are we at
and
10:28?
then,
Oh, yeah.
and then again, under the department head committee items, same thing again. He's got E on it.
Would you just open?
Not a big
Probably an
deal.
autocorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a big
probably.
deal.
Probably.
All right, 10:28, anything page one?
I got the first one.
I
Okay.
didn't see anything on one.
Page two?
No, only thing was what I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, if that's the case, move to approve as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 11:04?
Which one was the fourth?
11:04, yeah, they're right there. I think I download them.
Okay, you found this?
I did. It showed up, and I put the SIM card in it, and after about 15 minutes, everything was back in, except for my pictures and my memos. So, I thought it was pretty much a win. All right, November 4th, page one. Anything?
Oh,
Page two? Three? And four.
I move we accept 11 minutes as
Written.
written.
Yep, second, all in favor?
Aye.
11:18.
I haven't read 18 at all.
Oops.
I haven't either.
Come on. Back
I
out.
don't know if anyone else did.
No, 11:25, no, maybe?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Actually, I haven't.
I don't have
Oh, there.
25th. I have the 18th, but November
We don't have the
18th.
25th yet.
Right.
No.
Oh,
But I
so
haven't
Nobody's
read the
seen them.
18th at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
I
So
haven't either.
We'll table it. Table the
Table
18th.
that till
Okay.
next week.
All right. Manifest. Move to approve, order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payables checks dated December 5th, 2019, including the following manifest. Payroll manifest, $67,549.85 for weekly and fire monthly payroll. Accounts payable of $36,801.78, and John Starks payable of $250,000 for a total of $354,351.63. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think I lost something. There it is.
All right, last week I told you that we were gonna, I took the draft out of the middle of the, brush trimming.
Yes.
So if you guys, I'll just pass it around for everybody to sign, and then she'll come in tomorrow
Okay.
and sign that.
Okay.
There's really nothing, I don't think I've added anything or changed anything other than on the, I know nothing has changed on the government building one.
Okay.
Still,
That's pretty much.
So, I mean-
Any word on on the town hall sign?
Actually, I got some pictures today.
Okay, so it's moving forward.
It's moving forward.
Okay.
There was a different supplier that he used, but it really looks sharp. He sent just a couple of pictures. It's just to let me know that it's almost done. It's got the green and the gold letters are done, and the outside is done in black, so I think he's almost there.
Okay,
I don't know what the snow's gonna do to dig a hole,
I was
though.
gonna say,
that's fine, I mean, if the sign's good,
Yeah,
then,
I think
you know.
the sign really looks sharp. I
Okay.
mean,
well, if we're gonna get it in this one.
See how it is, go to dig, how frozen the ground
Well, I
is.
don't know. I mean, I think the ground's fairly frozen, but I
Right.
don't know.
Great. Anything else on the buildings?
No, but I honestly didn't, had a really short week. so
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
no,
choose
and I know, I'm just,
And today, it was very quiet with the weather, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to read, sign second page.
oh, good,
Anything about
Thank you.
East Street? Did they get the thing memo on that?
on the gate.
Laura was gone all week, and Wendy was gone last week. She's supposed to pull the deed and the survey plan for me, because she just wanted to see it before we sent out a letter.
Okay,
Made
what are
sure that we had
talking
the rights to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
about? Oh, okay,
okay.
thank you.
The only thing I changed on the other one was the radio communication.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we've discussed with the current provider to get us some quotes on the two radios.
Yep.
That's kind of all we got to last week, but that's where the discussion is headed.
Page 2. Nope, sign page 2, both of you.
Oh,
Oh, the signature, I
Yeah.
missed, okay.
Yep, good job. I missed it too, Jan caught it.
I did get an email with some lists of people that might do some engineering surveys, but I'm not going
Okay.
there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We're just looking for the prices to get the two radios.
Yep.
To see if that does work right off the bat.
Sounds good.
Friday, I'm gonna do the craft fair with the retired people at the county nursing home.
crap, yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't have to sign the second one. That was just a draft.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Well,
didn't
mine
realize it was
Well,
a
now we have our own
draft.
copy to put down.
I was like, I didn't
Thanks,
think there was a
Jan.
second copy, but,
Whatever. It is what it is.
Hey,
do you
Thing
wanna
with
discuss
signatures?
what I forwarded you in correspondence? Just the one email?
Yep, yep, it's gonna kinda spool together with
Okay.
something else.
All right, that's all I had.
Oh, you said? All right. Does the board have any other business
No.
to speak
No.
of?
No.
Okay, I got one thing, two things.
Okay.
No, no, leave it. No. Leave it open.
We're all set.
Leave it open. Oh, no, no.
Well, you can stay.
Yeah. Have a good one. We have received an email via the website about the transfer station being closed on Saturday. There was question about it. And there was a very hot topic on Saturday on the Facebook post, on that Facebook page, We Are Wearing H, with 125 comments back and forth about that, ranging anywhere from my taxes are too high to we're not open enough to others that were very supportive that the employees had the time with their families. There was a couple of comments that were very supportive and very factual. I made a couple myself about where on the taxes are too high comment about where the taxes go. And that was the two emails that Beth had sent us about the pie graph and if you have a $300,000 house representation. I actually screenshot those and posted those. John Van put a very nice post on there about all the surrounding towns' tax rates that were set. We are the lowest in the area by by at least 50 cents plus. Again, there was a lot of it seemed like postings that people didn't pay attention to the sign that was up there. There was a couple that said it wasn't on the town website, which is not true.
It's on the front page.
Huh?
right,
on the
it
front
was
Right,
on there.
right. And there was comments that we are open 36 hours, and that's the most out of any surrounding. It's just not the hours that the quote unquote working folk appease to. So quite a bit of back and forth. It was also commented multiple times. If you don't like it, write to us. The email address was put on by myself. I said, if you don't like it, run for office, and or email us. Because not all of us have access to that page. Actually, my quote was, arguing, commenting on that page was like arguing with bark on a tree. It's going to get you nowhere. And it's true. I mean, if we don't hear it, and I just bring it from this page, it's as good as hearsay. It's really not. If you want results, it's boardmembers@where.nh.gov.
Wasn't that posted the week of Thanksgiving?
Both. Both.
No hours on that Saturday.
Both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was to me, it was well represented.
It was-
Quite well presented
It was
ahead
posted, it
of
was
the
posted right
meeting.
on the transfer
Yeah.
station.
If
So
somebody
Right,
missed
but again,
it, I'm,
people
you know,
missed it, so-
they don't,
sorry,
they never
but-
have.
So like I said, it was again, and I kind of have to go with what our DPW director said. If there's some merit in it, but are they, as I said, keyboard warriors, or are they actually gonna come and say, hey, there's a problem, can you guys address it? And we did get one. We did get one email through the system that said that we should, we should look into it as far as the postings and being open. So we're going to look into it. We have mentioned that at the last meeting, that there was comments about it. So it was very clear that the transfer station does not support night operations in its current status. So there's nothing that's going to happen in 2019. 2020 may have a summer schedule, maybe, don't know. But again, that's something that this board, the DPW director, the manager of the transfer station will all hash out. We take the comments with stride, and we're trying to do the best that we can here on this board. But again, there are avenues to get across to this board, and one of them is the email address. So, like I said, I try and represent, as you folks have told me to, the facts on those sites for us, and I bring them forward. I bring them forward to you guys so you know about them. But again, if it's something I think that people really want, they need to email us. So again, board members at where.nh.gov, or you can call the town administrator, 529-7535.
You go on the website and do it too.
Yep, and there's also a form submittal page. You can submit it like this individual did that emailed us. Like I said, we are looking into it. And again, we are open 36 hours, which is more than everybody around us. It's just, again, the hours sometimes, I guess, don't suit everybody, which we're never gonna suit everybody, but again, we may try to, improve that, so. That's all I had as far as comments.
That's all I look forward to anyway.
Yep, thank
It
you.
was fairly quiet week.
Yeah, thank you for our first responders that we have out there, police, fire, and DPW for the last 24 and moving forward 24.
Yeah, it's 24.
Yeah, the storm is coming back with a tail whip, so we're supposed to get some more. Even before, when it first started hitting, I saw the yellow flashing lights go by the house, so
Yeah.
they were right on it. Again, can't say enough about our departments.
You did an excellent job.
Yep. And again, in a couple hours of sleep, and they'll be back out again, sure. So, watch the overtime go on and watch the salt budget go up. But, again, it's a necessary evil. So, just want to
Welcome to New England.
Yeah, just want to throw a thank you out to them, all the crews. So, anything else? Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.